hello, and welcome back to 1000 Lies, the series everyone's been waiting for me to continue. Some might say I was singing. I'd call it deafening noise. In search of peace, I go outside, and even though it stopped raining, I wouldn't have minded getting soaked again if it meant getting away from them. I'm sorry, Ziva, but you're tone deaf. It was this or burning this karaoke. The aroma of geosmid floods my senses as soon as I enter the garden, which is now illuminated by the shining lights attached to the house and placed within the pool. Nice. There, mesmerized by the serenity of the moment, someone else walks along the white ceramic edge of the pool, her reflection carelessly shown upon the surface. She notices my presence as soon as I approach her, and she turns around surprisedly. Oh, hey, it's you. Shouldn't you be inside enjoying your birthday party? When she's done speaking, her gaze once again drifts to the surface of the water. I prefer to keep my eardrums as safe and far away from Ziva's singing as possible, and I don't think it's just me. She livens up a little too much during parties and doesn't realize that her voice is beyond awful. Please understand. On the other hand, when I think about the suffering that the rest must be enduring, it's sad. So sad. Who would have guessed that you can feel pity? Knowing you, I'd say that you enjoy watching others suffer. Only you. It's so sweet to indulge. Well, aren't you just the comedian? I do try to level with my audience, but I might have crossed the line here. Luce crouches down next to the pool and lowers her voice. I can't get an answer by looking at the contours of her hair, so I decide to get closer to her and get a good view of her face. Be honest, you're jealous. Jealous of who? Of what? You're jealous of my superior cheating at poker skills. I might have failed with the very last step, but what I did still wasn't easy. Even gave all three of you some really great hands. How can you still be so optimistic after how wrong everything went for you earlier? Do you realize that the first step to solving a problem is to admit that you have one? Let's just say that I'm having an unlucky streak, but I know what I'm doing. Winning depends on the person. There seems to be a discrepancy between your theory and reality. I'm being serious. I could give you an example, or better yet, we can make a bet on it. Don't you realize that that's exactly your problem? Fine. We'll bet whatever you want. I'll win anyways. I take the deck of cards we used earlier out of one of my pockets and present it to Luce. The game's simple. I take a card and then try to throw it above the house roof while standing right here. If it goes above the roof, I win. If it can't reach, you win. Simple, eh? Let me see. I don't trust you yet. Luce takes the cards from my hand, ensuring that it's not concealing any tricks within them, like a rock attached to one. Once she finishes, she checks the distance to the building. It's about 30 feet from where I stand. Considering that's a 2-floor mansion, that's a pretty large distance to keep in mind. Before you start, I'd like to try it out myself. Do you mind if I throw some as tests? As many as you want. She holds the deck with her left hand, then lifts her right arm over her head with the first card clasped between her fingers. And using all of her strength, she tries to throw it. Don't use all your strength to throw the card. That's not how it works. However, the card doesn't make it past her feet. So you get... Wait a second. I'm sure that there must be a technique to it, yes? Like those who throw cards into hats. Luce tries it over and over again in every single way that she can think of. None give positive results, even when she's lucky with the wind and her posture. That a card could actually manage to fly that distance and height is almost impossible. Almost. They're too slim, so the moment they get bent, the wind resistance causes it to fall. In any case, Luce doesn't really trust me at all, especially considering that I'm the one who proposed the bet. So she decides to add her own rules. I'm pretty sure that there must be some crazy expert out there breaking records every day, so there must be a technique to this. The point is, even like that, I doubt that you can actually do it. To be safe, I'll only give you one chance. If you miss, then you lose. No retries allowed. That was the plan from the beginning, Luce. You fool. Not so fast. I also want you to throw it from an even farther away. 5 steps backwards. I'm positive that you have the distance measured. I can't make it easy for you. You don't take any chances. Yeah, I'll try it. Don't walk away from my bets like a coward, though. You can take it back now, you know. We haven't even established the most important thing yet either. What do I get if I win? Haven't put much thought into that. But I'd be so much as ready to wear that Speedo again. And going home wearing the Speedo. Is your cruelty limitless, or what? You're the one who chose the game, so I'm the one who decides the wages. Hey, whatever. For my prize, I just want you to tell me what's wrong. Nothing has been wrong. What makes you think that? If there's nothing wrong, then you don't have anything to lose. Win-win. Don't you think? Luce puts one of her hands on her waist, tilting her head indecisively. Her eyes grow sharp, and she decides to put the deck back into my hands without letting go. I didn't realize that you worried about others so much. I don't. Let's just say that it's part of my evil plan. She smiles, pleased, allowing me to take back the deck of cards. I copy Luce's previous movements, taking the decks in my left hand and holding the first card above me with my right hand. I stand as far away as she'd requested, and I use her same position to ready the cards, with my right arm bent behind my head, then throw the card with all my strength. So you want me to do it for your strength? The rectangular object flies up, relentlessly spinning around the flies over the rooftop, making me the clear winner. It flew away like it was nothing. How did you do it? I can't tell you. It'd be less special. Come on, don't be a schmuck. Tell me, it's not like I could learn it in one day. You must have practiced really hard to learn that. Not as much as you think. I could tell you, but I'll need you to admit that I've won first. Okay, let's say that you've won. I still can't trust you when you say something like that. Good to know, because you probably don't really want to know what I actually threw was one of these. I opened one of my hands, revealing not your usual playing card, but something close to a hard plastic card. To be exact, it's a key card, like the one they use in hotels. And with a magician's gesture, the card multiplies, revealing 5 in total. I always take some of these when I find them, and since they're similar in size and colour, it's easy to pass them off as playing cards. While they're flying, it's impossible to see what I actually threw, plus these cards have the advantage of being more solid and thick. Basically, you tricked me. I'm not really sure about his being fair, but I'll accept it for now. Must be something wrong with you if you get the garbage like that all the time. You should recycle them instead of throwing them. It's not garbage if it has a use. Part of the trick is that nobody expects you to have something like these. I finally win, and now you're trying to make me look bad. Bad? No, you've got it wrong. I'm only stating the facts. It's you who are misunderstanding me. Oh, really? I spilled that. Okay, cleaned up. Do you remember the basketball match, for example? Yes, I remember it. I loved making that thumbnail. It's hilarious. You told me that I probably loved that sport a lot. Well, surprise! I quit it. Alright. Luce folds her arms, speaking in a natural tone while faking a smile. She takes her time before saying anything else, and I give her as much time as she may need. knowing that she's just honoring her part of the bet we made. Music change. She inhales and starts walking alongside the pool as she explains. After so many years of playing, I realized that something had changed. It wasn't the same as before. That's what made me lie about my injury on that day, and skipping the training sessions. I realized something simple. I feel indifferent about basketball. It's not like I wanted to go pro, nor did I have any kind of special relations with my team. So thinking about the huge amount of time I had dedicated to the game made the whole thing feel ridiculous. I don't think it was a waste of time. You can learn it from anything, and I have some fond memories of it, but I still can't stop wondering about it. All the dreams I had in the past, and I will have in the future. Give it my best, put in the effort. I'll do everything to reach the moment where I can say that I finally have an objective, a reason to fight and keep going. Like anyone else my age, I was questioning what my next step will be from here on out. Nothing abnormal, nothing interesting for you to hear. Have I bored you enough yet, or not? I get close to Luz, making us stand face to face. What are you doing? It's part of my evil plan. I place my hands on her shoulder, strongly gripping them. I can feel my breathing quicken, and my heartbeat follows with a similar tempo. Our pupils dilate, our faces grow red. I swallow nervously, and then moisten my lips with the tongue of my tongue. I open them once, I get closer to her, and then I whisper, Vendetta. Eh? I push Luce into the pool. I can see her surprised expression as she falls, and a smirk breaks out into my face for having finally obtained my long-awaited revenge. Ah, what a touching moment. Not so fast. However, she manages to grab my sleeve of my shirt as she's falling. Her grip sturdy enough to destabilize me, causing me to fall with her. In the end... Kersplash. We thought we were going to kiss? Get out of here. We both fall into the pool. Ah, what a lovely picture. Ha ha ha. Though your ribbon's gone. You had a ribbon. I'm not crazy, am I right? She had a ribbon. When I come up for air, I see her. Tiny water droplets dance around her silhouette, reflecting the light from the pool. Underwater lights, highlighting her figure. Ah, how beautiful. Her soaked clothes stick to her shimmering skin, captivating me as if she's the only being currently in existence under the moonless night. My jaws drop, causing me to accidentally swallow some water until I eventually manage to ground myself, so that I don't drown. She looks at me, her eyes filled with a lot of confusion. But after exchanging looks, the only things we can do is laugh. Vendetta, could you possibly get any stupider? Luz splashes some water at me, in a pointless attempt to look angry. Aren't you the one who was always bringing justice? There's no older law than an eye for an eye. She shakes her head in denial and brushes her hair away with her hands, clearing her face. I might have lied about that a little. Ooh, ah. Is that stare scary for anyone else? That's not a... Embarrassed, her lips seem to shrink. She bites her lower lip and turns the face a different direction while murmuring something. She looks like she's gonna kill me with that stare. Everything's easier when accompanied by pleasant-sounding words. Knowing that you're doing the right thing because it's just too convenient, right? We stand in silence. Only the sounds of our movements in the water interrupts it. There's a path created by friends and family that's too good not to be taken. But you get to a point where you worry so much about being on the path that you start to hide even the most harmless things from them. Like me withdrawing. I don't think it was injustice. I don't think it was justice that I really wanted, or not even recognition. But to follow the easiest path. I justified it with lies. And in my case, a lie I pretended was called effort. Yes, the problem with teenagers this is. And now, I worry about whether or not I was right. And if I was only taking art seriously because I wanted to escape the chance of failure, or discovering that it's not just for me. Oh, sorry, that it's not for me. Just like basketball, I don't want to look at you and have you admit my mistake in choosing this path. It wouldn't be fair after all. I've made you go through, and it would also be a pity. Because I love teasing you. Luce tilts her head, bringing one of her fingers to her chin. And of her wild expressions that always manage to make an impression on me. Her eyes sharp. I need to start reading this properly and stop focusing on the expressions. Her sharp eyes petrify me, leaving only the distant murmurs from the house and the small waves in the pool to accompany her indecisive yet embarrassing expression. What I'll never know is if it's of embarrassment from her own words or because of the transparency of her clothes. That's why her hand's there. Somehow I feel responsible for it. Somehow. And I try to continue where she left off. You may be wrong. Nobody can be sure about their own feelings. About if what they feel is real or not. In my opinion, if you put so much effort into something only to keep it a secret, then that must mean that it matters to you, right? She gets close to me, floating with a subtle and gentle jump, keeping our eyes on par with each other. She makes me nervous, so I try to take a step backwards, now leaving me standing on only a single toe. Ah, there you go. The death glare is gone. I thought you were crazy at first, so I went with the flow because I was looking to have some distracting fun. Some distracting fun, however, you're still here. I'd like to propose something. It may be a bit late to do it now, and selfish coming from me, but we've already kinda become associates, so I have a favor to ask of you. This comes even closer to the point that I can feel her hand brushing against me through the soft waves of the pool. Death glare. I want to see how far we can get together, what we can learn about each other, what I can get from it, and now that I can draw with someone by my side. So close that I can even hear the water droplets dripping off her face. So close that I can smell the scent of her skin leaking out of her pores and into the water. Will you stay with me until the end, Sia? Sia? I step back again, losing the small margin that had once allowed me to breathe. Luce looks at me perplexedly, and this time I can't give her an elegant or sarcastic response as we'd usually do with each other, because I'm drowning. What the? Why did I drown? God damn it. It's such an important moment for us. And we drown. Luce grabs Jelly just in time, manages to pull me out of the water so that I can grab the edge of the pool and support myself. I manage to get out, lie down on the floor, and recover my stamina. Oh, jeez, yeah. What happened? Why were you suddenly drowning? After such a serious moment, too. Luce stands next to me, still soaked, and I try to answer her through my lungs feel completely empty. Couldn't reach? I pushed you into the pool early and you were fine. Might have been in the shallow part, but you can't swim. I lower my head embarrassedly and say nothing. You can't swim? Could you be any more useless? Staring as only she can, she goes to grab me a towel and throws it in my direction afterwards. Use this. I'll go inside to get another towel. Luce says goodbye, still laughing about discovering another weakness that she can use against me from now on, or trying to drown out the fact that she just confessed to me. The sound of the sliding doors closing leaves me alone in the garden, sitting near the edge of the pool. Of course she can't be around me after that. And earlier they told me that there was only one towel. They did say that. How very rude. Maybe there still is. She's embarrassed. I observe the pool, silently thinking about what just happened. Yes, now that I think about it, whatever conclusion to, that was the first time she's ever used my name. Interesting. I wonder why. Did we even hear her? Did we hear what she said? Are we stupid? I'm gonna go stupid. Hey, Oz, how long have we been recording for? 20 minutes? I can go for another 10. Haha, leaving already, compadre? I've lent you some clothes, so you shouldn't have to worry about getting a cold, but if you insist... Yeah, it's late. I want to take a shower, and I may not be tired yet, but I know I'll end up exhausted from this long day. In any case, I want to thank you for everything. It was a great birthday, and I really had fun. Oh, boy-to-girl ratio will be even more in my favor if you leave, so I can't complain, but... Are you sure that nothing bad happened? On the contrary, Oz. Then... It's because everything went so well. Thanks, Oz. I observed the house from the outside, looking at the lit-up windows, trying to catch some sort of movement from the distance. I sigh, decide to forget about it, and walk along the walls of Oz's house on my way home. But as I turn around the corner, I find someone waiting for me. As usual, this was something only she could predict, surprising me again. Ah, leaving without me, sir? Claire, I would never. The uphill walk through the narrow streets of our old town is filled with silence. The road languishes under the bronze street lights, no noise except from our own 2 footsteps, creating a unique, peaceful, yet disturbingly calm atmosphere. The norm up until now was for me to listen to Claire talk non-stop about whatever would come to her mind in that instant, but now she's completely quiet, a behavior that has been appropriate since my birthday parties first started. I already knew that in front of the other people she would act shy and vulnerable, but that has always ended as soon as we were alone together. In its place, she makes fleeting eye contact, then immediately hides under her hat. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my face? No, it's not like that. I'm just very happy. Did something happen while I wasn't looking? I thought you were having a hard time because of your, social shyness. Honestly, I'm not the kind of girl who enjoys spending her time with other people. Your friends are great and they're fun, but I have to admit that I was starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. Even dinners? I thought you already knew him from before. He is an exception. We were friends a long time ago and we'd always meet in a certain place, but one day something happened and we never met again. Our friendship grew distant over the time, and although we got along, there was a wall between us that neither of us had any intention of tearing down. You make it sound like something terrible happened. Absolutely awful. I wonder if it was actually that. Claire makes it clear that with her nostalgic tone, and by lowering her head, that she prefers not to keep talking about this topic. In its place, I changed the topic to what I hope will bring back the Claire I know. That doesn't explain why you were so happy today, though. What exactly happened? You happened to see her. I'm happy that I was able to attend your birthday party, and for being able to walk by your side. Any vestige of sadness evaporates from her face as she clings to one of my arms with a tight grip. Claire's feelings are still strange to me, even though I have all the knowledge of them I need. So her display of affection still takes me by surprise every single time. I am myself when I'm with you. I'm not kind of person who would hug anyone for no reason, much less be this comfortable around another person. But if it's you, then I don't mind. There's nothing holding me back. I stop walking in the middle of the hill and stand still. Claire then lets go of my arm and looks at me with uncertainty. I've already noticed what happened. I've been trying to ignore her extremely abnormal behavior, but it's only managed to make me even more suspicious since, after all, Claire's still kind of a stranger to me. She is a bit. If you have nothing to hide, then there's no reason for you to make it so hard for us to meet. Every time I think I've gotten to know you better, you manage to do something that I can't understand. Why does Loose Neighbors have the package I was waiting for example? Was that also a part of your doing? Are you her neighbor? That was an accident. An accident? What the hell are you talking about? Look, Claire, I understand that you want to stay with me, know me, and all about me. I feel honored by that. Really, truly. But I need the full truth. Alright. I didn't want it to come to it sad at the time, but I guess I can say it today with certainty. She bows her head, closes her eyes, and inhales deeply. I turn around and wait for her. Shivers go down my spine for every second that I wait. She opens her eyes, looks at me tenderly, and... a car drives past our sides of the sidewalk at full speed, instinctively forcing us to take cover behind because of the noise. What a psycho! He almost drove over the sidewalk. Are you okay? Claire nods in response. Another interruption. Nah, very convenient. Let's go to the other side. It's a bit wider, so it's safer. Claire doesn't really look convinced, but she accepts it, following me while I cross the road. Halfway there, she takes my hand and forces me to stop walking. I love you, Sia. She said it. I try to turn around, but she grabs my shirt tightly as she can and buries her face in my back. Succumbing to embarrassment, she keeps telling me that she loves me. Clearly any doubts I had as she continues yelling it to my back. You can just imagine her love. I don't think I need to say anything there. I've loved you since the moment I first saw you. At first, I wasn't sure about it. I didn't want to be, but I have no doubts. Today, I can say fearlessly, I want to stay with you forever, Sia. It makes me feel special for that reason. I can't let you leave me, no matter what the cost is. She pulls on my shirt, shaking as if she fears that I'll disappear any second. Claire, no. Don't say anything. Her small arms intertwine beneath my chest, squeezing onto me with all her strength. She's making it hard for me to breathe, but that doesn't really matter. I've told you a million times, right? After all, to me the most important thing is for you to be truthful, but there are some truths that hurt more than others. I look at her and carefully hold her tiny hands, managing to dislodge them off me, little by little, until I can turn around. Claire hiding under her hat again, so to make eye contact I kneel down, embracing her hands with mine. What can I do for you, Claire? What did I do to make you fall in love with me? I don't know what I could have done for you this to happen. There are things in this world that we know without facts or reason. We can only hope that they continue being real for the rest of our lives. But I'm certain that in this case, not even time can tear my feelings away from me. I stand up, a guilty feeling suddenly welling up in my throat. Claire hugs me once more, this time from the front, resting her head against my chest and listening to my quickened heartbeat. Neither of us say anything for at least 2 minutes. I remain deaf even to the chatter of a couple of pedestrians that pass by. It's the shine of softness of her hair, interlaced between my fingers, that grabs my attention like a treasure that I can't leave behind. The warmth of her clear skin, even just touching it through her clothes, makes my sense of touch react, struggling to understand the texture of her fragile figure. Seconds later, I feel her struggling to push away. I react surprised and let her go, even though I didn't really want to break the contact. Let's make a deal, Sia. Claire takes a deep breath, gathering the courage she needs to speak. Her voice is gentle and sweet, but somehow also solemn. I've told you how I feel, but now I want to know how you feel about me. And I'd like to know your answer before we part ways on graduation day. On that day, I want to hear your answer. I want to know the truth. I won't be satisfied if you aren't sure by then. I've told you many times that I don't like half-baked answers. Whatever it is, I want it to be real. I simply nod, confused. Confused? The presence she transmits, inconceivable for her height, doesn't allow me to give any other response. I'm glad that you understand. Claire sighs in relief, lifting a weight off her shoulders, my shoulders. She reaches towards my hand, holding it affectionately and blushing. Meanwhile, we decide to start heading home. How nice. I don't remember when we left the narrow streets of our town, nor the time it took us to return to our houses, considering that time itself had disappeared for the rest of the night, as we walked side by side holding hands. I never did get the answer that I was searching for, and Claire's still a stranger to me in a lot of ways, but neither of those is an excuse for me to ignore the unconventional love story that's developing right before my eyes any longer. The inevitable conclusion even has a preset date. Wow. This time, I'll have to write an ending. Oof. 1,000 lies. That was definitely 10 minutes. Chapter 4. Wow. Back in class with Ziva. Wow. Hello, Ziva. Hey, you know, you wouldn't just believe what I went through yesterday, I suppose. It's probably a new day. So, we've had a full-on confession by Claire and a half very shy confession. Well, Luce and Claire, and David doesn't show any interest in us, so, you know, just a friend. Wow. I wonder what's gonna happen. I wonder. Have there been any choices in this game that I've actually made? Because I swear my friend told me those choices, so I swear I'm gonna have to pick between Claire or Luce in the end. Interesting. Anyway, well, that's the next part. We'll see what happens next time. So, goodbye. Thanks for watching. Ziva, I left you all the day because I had important things to do. Love story to progress.